Today we are going to discuss the type of components. Components are of two types. One is functional component and the other is class component. As the name suggests, functional components are simple JavaScript functions that receive object of properties or props as input and return JSX as output, which describes the UI. What is JSX? JSX stands for JavaScript Syntax Extension. It is used to insert dynamic JavaScript along with HTML. For a beginner, one may consider JSX as simple HTML code, but this is not completely true. Functional components may or may not have parameters, and they are less complex than class components. We will discuss this further at the end of this video. In the last video, we saw a brief introduction of functional component. Now, class components are simple classes made of multiple functions that add to the functionality of the application. They extend React component, create a render function which returns a React element. They also have a state property. State is basically an object that includes any data that the component needs. We will discuss state later in our videos. Let's go into our project and create a new folder named component. We will store all our components inside this folder, be it a functional component or a class component. Inside our component folder, we will create our first functional component and we will name it hello.js. So for any functional component, we will have to import React from React. So first we will type import React from React. Later on, we are going to export this component also. Now let us simply create a function named hello. The name of the function will be same as the name of our file, that is hello.js. Inside function, we will return anything what we like. It can be an h1 tag, a p tag or anything. Now we will write export default and the name of our component, that is hello. So pretty much we are done with the basic stuff. Now we just have to include the JSX element that we want to return. Let's go ahead and write our return statement. I want to include a h1 tag inside my return statement and write down this is a functional component and we will render it on our local host, or maybe just write down hello.js is a functional component. So let me just edit it. Our functional component pretty much looks like a simple JavaScript function, but we have not created any link of this component with our main component, that is app.js. So let us just go ahead and create that link. So we will write hello in a self-closing tag and then we will import hello at the top, saying import hello from ./component and hello. So this is the location of file. Let's just hit Ctrl S and we get our output. Remember, there is no styling in our present ReactJS application as we do not have any CSS code. Now what we are going to do is we will comment out this part of the function and we are going to use Is jsx and arrow function to write our function with proper conventions. So let me just comment it out and write const hello equal to parenthesis arrow function and our h1 tag saying hello.js is our functional component. Now if we press Ctrl S, we get the same output here. There is no change. But this is a better convention, so we must follow it. You must have some idea about the arrow function. If not, please read about it. Now we are going to create another component named world.js. This will be a class component. So we have created the file. Our class component extends a React component. So we need to import two things here. The first one is React and the second one is component. So we will write import React, comma, inside curly braces, components. The components must start with a capital C from React. Next we are going to write class and the name of our class is world, and we will export this also in the similar way like we exported our functional component, that is export default world. Every class must extend the component class in ReactJS. So we will write class world extends component. Extends keyword is used in class declaration to create a child class. So world is a child class of the component class. Next we are going to use the render method and return our JSX element inside the return statement. The render method returns null or an HTML inside it. So here we will return an h1 tag saying world.js is a class component. The render method displays HTML in index.html file. Now we will go ahead and add our component inside app.js. So we will write world and then import it at the top, and then when we hit Ctrl S, we get our output. Now let us see the difference between both the components, that is functional component and class component. The first one is that functional component are simple JavaScript functions. They are not very complex and they use function component a lot. They are not aware of the other components in the application. There is a solution without state. State includes data of the component. Absence of this keyword. This keyword can be a little problematic for beginners. Functional component is also called stateless or dumb component. For class component, they work with other components. There is render method present and they have complex UI logic. They also provide lifecycle hooks. Hooks are special functions that allow ReactJS features to be used in functional components. We will discuss about them later in our videos. Hooks are available for React version above 16.8. Class components are also called stateful or smart components. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next video.